Dear students, welcome you all for the session on concept of income and person under Income Tax Act 1961. So let's go to the meaning of income. As you all know, in income tax, tax is paid on income. That means whatever the income that you earn in a financial year, you have to pay tax on that income in the next assessment year. So, an assessee has to pay tax on the income earned by him in the previous year. So section 224 defines income. So this section defines what are the various sources of income. It doesn't say that, it doesn't give the definition as such, but it lists out various sources as income. Let's see what are the various sources that is considered as income under Income Tax Act. The first one is profits and gains. So usually companies, businesses earn profits or gains, service enterprises, service organization call it as a gain. So all this or capital, when you sell capital asset, it is called as a capital gain. So all this considered as a income. Then dividend. So when you invest in shares, you get return as dividend. So that dividend is also considered as a income. Then voluntary contribution received by a trust or institution. See, usually for a trust, the income is the contributions or donations. So all these voluntary contributions received by a trust or institution is also called as income. Then fourth one, the value of any perquisite or profit in lieu of salary. In the sense, along with the salary, you may also receive other benefits. Okay, for example, you may receive motor car, you may receive newspaper, you may receive a free laptop, you may receive valuable lunch, you may receive leave travel concession. All this considered as income. It should be included in the concept of salary. So that is income. Then any special allowances. If you are given any special allowance, for example, there are so many allowances given to a salaried person, there are so many allowances given to other individuals, right? For example, Chief Justice of India, for example, a political person, for example, a minister, for example, doctor. So they are given various allowances. For example, it may be HRA, it may be uniform allowance, it may be hostel allowance, it may be border allowance, it may be project allowance. There are so many allowances. So all these allowances are called as income. Then any allowance granted to an assessee. So any other allowances, in the sense along with the salary, if you receive any allowance, as I said, he may receive dearness allowance, he may receive house rent allowance, he may also receive canteen allowance. All these allowances are also called as income. Then value of any benefit or amenity. So if you have given any benefit or amenity, for example, you are given a house, free house, okay, by your employer, that means it is a benefit given to you. Or you are given a this one what traveling benefit, that is also benefit. Okay, you are given a motor car, that is also benefit, so that is also considered as income. Then any interest, salary, bonus, commission received by the partner. So partner usually receives commission, then he receives bonus. If you are a working partner, you also receive salary and interest on your capital. So all this considered as income. Then profits and gains of business of banking. So if any banking banks usually, if there is a profit, then they receive profit. If there is a loss also, then there is a loss. So profits and gains of an undertaking is considered as a income. Then even insurance companies, whatever the profit of insurance companies is also called as income. Then any capital gain taxable under section 45. So under section 45, if there is any capital gain, so that is also considered as income. As I said, uh, capital gain is called as not capital income. It is called as gain. Okay, short-term capital gain, long-term capital gain. So all this called as income under section 45. Then casual income. So casual income in the sense you receive casually, don't, it does not occur every day. So if you are receiving it every day, then it is a regular income. So casual income is just opposite to it. You may get it once in a year, once in a month, all these things. Then income from any other sources. So it can be from any other source. So income, in income tax act, income tax department will not leave any income as free income. No, everything is included in the concept of income. Okay, for example, if you are going to if you are going to buy a lottery, that lottery income is also considered as income. If you are giving a tuitions, and if you, whatever the income that you receive from tuition, that is also considered as income. If you are giving any shows, for example, you are giving a dance show, whatever the money that you get is also called as income. If you are getting any gift, that is also considered as income. If you are giving any, if you are getting any donation, that is also considered as income. But there are certain exemptions that we have to see. Then next one is contribution to PF. So if any employer contributes to provident fund of the employee, then that is also considered as income. Or employees state insurance, ESI, that is also considered as income. So all these are considered as income. That means what you have to understand from this is everything is included in the concept of income. There is nothing left out. So everything is included in the concept of income. But there are certain exemptions that we have to claim separately. So this is what the concept of income is. Let's go to the next concept, that is principal applied to income. So how income is recognized as income in Income Tax Act. So there are certain principles that we have to follow to categorize one particular income as income under section under Income Tax Act 1961. What are those? First one, regular and definite. Income should be regular and definite. Okay, in the sense, regular in the sense every month if you are getting income. Definite in the sense you might have, it may not be regular, but it's definite. For example, if there is a lottery for you, then you will get in it, definitely get it. So that is also considered as income. Then external source, it should be from external source, in the sense you cannot give income to yourself. Okay, for example, I am going to work at my home, I am giving salary to myself. No, that cannot be. Okay, so it should be from some other person, from an organization, external. Okay. Then different forms of income. So as I said in the definition of income, there are different forms of income. It can be dividend, it can be profit, it can be gain, it can be insurance profit, it can be other source. There are so many forms of income. Then receipt and accrual. See, income can be either a receipt basis or accrual basis. Receipt in the sense I have already received the income. For example, 10,000 somebody has to, bank has to give me. I have received the 10,000. Accrual in the sense it has accrued 10,000. I had to get the interest that is there in my account. Okay, that is there in my account, and it will be credited in some time or after some days. So that is accrual basis. I have not received it, but it is there. So that is receipt and accrual basis. Then illegal income. See, in Income Tax Act, illegal income is also considered as income. Okay, so Income Tax Department will not leave any fund. Even if you say that it is illegal income, that is also considered as income. You know what do you mean by illegal income? So illegal income in the sense you get income from any business, okay, which is not legal, in the sense smuggling, okay, or any other things. Then disputed income. See, for example, if there is a dispute in a income, so person who is receiving that there should be a person who is receiving, right? For example, if two people are quarreling for a property, that means one person might be receiving that income. Okay, another person may not receive it. That's why he is fighting. So person who is receiving the income has to pay the Income Tax Act. So that is also considered as a income, disputed income. Then relief of expense is not a income. Okay, if you are getting a relief, okay, for an expense, then it is not considered as income, because it is considered as expenditure. Okay, it's not a income. Okay, then for example, you are making a provision. Okay, that is not a income, that is an expense. Then no distinction on temporary and permanent income. So there is no distinction between temporary income and permanent income. As I said, lottery income and salary income. See, lottery income is a temporary income, salary income is a permanent income, but there is no difference in income. Okay, that is also income, this is also income. For example, occasionally you are going for a horse race once in a year and you get huge profits, that is also income. For example, you invest once in a stock market and you get profit, that is also income, even though it is once in a year. Then lump sum or installment. So it can be lump sum or installment. For example, you are getting pension. Okay, you will not get pension at once. You may get it lump sum. Okay, maybe per month 10,000. So whatever you receive installment, that is also income. Then income include loss. This is very important. See, income in Income Tax Act, loss is also considered as there is a value for the loss. So you can set off the loss with other source. For example I'll give. Okay, you have income from house property 50,000, but in capital gain while selling an asset you incurred a loss of 25,000. That means that negative income what is there 25,000 can be set up with the income from house property, that is 50,000. So 50,000 minus 25,000 is 25,000 is the income. So that means there is a value for negative income. You cannot ignore the loss. Then some income cannot be taxed. Sorry, same income cannot be taxed twice. You cannot give two times tax on the same income. Okay, so you can in GST there is a concept of input tax credit. So you cannot, once you buy a raw material, so whatever the tax that you pay, you can get the credit when you sell it. So you cannot, or even in your own income tax, your own income. For example, in salary, once the tax deducted monthly 1,000 rupees again cannot be deducted. So you cannot pay tax twice. Then income should be real. So income should be real. For example, if you say that I am going to receive 5 lakhs rupees, okay, 5 lakhs rupees, God will give me 5 lakhs rupees next month. Can you imagine that God will receive? Or if I visit, okay, to one temple, I may receive 10 lakh rupees on this day, on Thursday, 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. No, that is not a real income. It should be real income. So these are the various principles of apply to income. Then let us go to the meaning of person. Very important. Okay, in income tax, we have different dimensions, or in the sense different names for different persons. So let's see what is the meaning of person. The term assessee and persons are closely connected. In the sense, person itself is assessee. Assessee can be any other person. Okay, so the charge of income tax is on every person. Okay, every person has to pay tax. He may be an individual, he may be a company, but that is in income tax he is a person, and that person is a, if he pays tax then he is a assessee. Okay, if he pays tax then he is a assessee. I think we have already learned the meaning of assessee. Okay, so the term person includes the following. So what are the terms which includes? The first one is individual. Individual means me and you. So term individual defined as only a natural person, not an artificial person. Okay, only a natural person can be considered as individual. Who is a natural person? A human being. It can be male or females. Then it also includes a minor or a person of unsound mind. For example, a person is mentally retarded. He is also considered as per individual. Person who is a minor, may not, he has not attained the age of majority, that is 18. He is also considered as an individual as per Income Tax Act. Next, HUF. So what is HUF? Hindu undivided family. So HUF consists of all males lineally descended. So they are on a straight way, in the sense they have some descendants, okay, from a common ancestor. So there will be ancestor, from that ancestor, okay, there will be different heads, okay, different heads, and includes their wives and daughters. Okay, maybe my ancestor was living in 1800, and from that, okay, forefathers, and I was born. So I belong to a HUF. So therefore, the individual members cannot be assessed separately in respect of HUF income. For example, if you are HUF, each individual's income cannot be separated. It is income of the entire family. We can say that it is income of the HUF. So it's not the income of an individual. When it becomes individual, when he separately earns money, when he separately runs a business, then it is called as an individual. Here, entire family runs the business. So that's why that is considered as HUF. Next, partnership firm. Okay, you may be aware of the meaning of partnership firm. So partnership is the relation between the persons. Okay, there will be more than two persons coming together doing the business. So who have agreed to share the profits of business. So they agree to share the profits and also losses of the business carried on by all. So they will all, they may carry the business or any one of them acting for all. Any one can be a managing partner. So the person who have entered into partnership with one another are called as individually partners collectively as a firm. So whatever the firm that they set up is called as partnership firm. Okay, the individuals who run the partnership firm are called as partners. But you cannot assess the income of a firm as an individual's income. No, because that is the three persons coming together and doing the business. So that is the income of a partnership firm. It also includes the terms limited liability partnership. Okay, there are so many partnership firms whose liability is limited, but in partnership firm, uh, there is a liability is limited. In there is other forms also called a limited liability. That means my liability is limited to only to the capital that I have invested. I am not able to, or I am not responsible for the any losses which is beyond my capital. So that is called as limited liability partnership. That is also considered as a partnership firm. Then company, very important. So what do you mean by company? So any Indian company as defined in section 226 of the Income Tax Act, okay, that is a Indian company in the sense incorporated as per the Indian law. Then any body corporate incorporated by or under the laws of a country outside India. Okay, if it is incorporated outside India, then it is considered as foreign company. Then any institution, association or body which is accessible or was assessed as a company for any assessment year under the Income Tax Act 1961 for any assessment year commencing on or before 1 for 1970. See, that means if income tax department itself assesses any organization as a company or any institution or association or body as a company, then it is called as a company for Income Tax Act. They may not be a company, but income tax department says that you are a company. Then fourth one, any institution, association or body declared by the CBDT in the sense Central Board for Direct Taxes, Central Board for Direct Taxes to be a company. Here CBDT declares that you are a company. So that is also considered as a company. Then association of person. So association of person in the sense here persons together form an association. Very simple. For example, cooperative society. It's an association of persons. So few people coming together. Okay. On the principle of each for all and all for each. Is it not? So that is a cooperative society. So when persons combine together. So when different individuals come together for promotion of joint enterprise, they are accessible as AOP. Okay. When persons combine together for promotion of joint enterprise, they are accessible as an AOP. So the purpose is to have a joint enterprise. In the sense, joint stock company you say, right? It's a joint stock company. So many people have invested the money and they form an enterprise. So that's why it is called as joint share or joint stock enterprise. So here also many persons invest their money, okay, to form a joint enterprise. That's they are known as association of persons. So in order to constitute an association of persons, person must join for a common purpose or action, or their object must be to produce income. So association means here what? It's for a common purpose. So what is that common purpose? To produce income. Okay, nobody will form an association just to enjoy. No, it's a main purpose. Ultimately purpose is to earn the income. Then, so association person can have companies, firms, HUFs as members. So they can have any, your person means anyone. It can be individual, it can be firm, it can be HUF, or it can be a company also. Okay. Then body of individual. The main difference between association of person and body of individual is, see, in association of person anybody can become the member, but in body of individual, the individual itself should be there, no other person, only individual. So it denotes the status of persons like executors or trustees who merely receive the income jointly. Okay, here only the persons who act as executors or trustee. Okay, then it cannot have non-individuals as members. Body of individual in the sense you are a okay living individual. It cannot be artificial juridical person. Then local authority. So local authority is in the sense it's a municipal committee, district board or port trust authority or any other authority legally entitled or to or entrusted by a government with the control or management of a municipal or local fund. So your main purpose is municipal administration or local fund. For example, Grama Panchayat is also known as a local authority. Taluk Panchayat is known as local authority. Municipal corporation is known as local authority. So you are managing a area based on a fund. Then artificial person. So artificial person in the sense you are artificially a person. There is no living entity here. So this category could cover every artificial juridical person not falling under any other heads. So it can be deities, it can be corporations, it can be bar council, etc. So you are not falling under any other categories. For example, partnership firm, local authority, individual. So you are classified as a artificial person. So these are the various categories of persons. So from the beginning, individual, partnership firm, HUF, company, then what? Then local authority, body of individual, then association of person, then artificial persons. Now can you identify okay these persons as who? Mr. Varun, assistant professor in GFGC, Government First Grade College. He is what? He is an individual. Mr. Varun is an individual. State Bank of India. What is this? State Bank of India. It's a company. Okay. Then, so it's a company formed to earn the profit. Federal Bank of India Limited. Again, it's a company. Raju and Sons. Okay, Raju plus his sons form an what? Partnership firm. Then Ram and Lakshman, legal heirs of Satyanarayan. So they are called as okay HUF. Then Mangalore Ladies Club. So it is a club, ladies club. So what is this? It's an association of person. Then cooperative society. Again, it's a association of person. Then Life Insurance Corporation of India. So again, it's a company. So body Bangalore Municipal Corporation. It's a local authority. Bangalore Development Authority. So it's an artificial juridical person. Then Mr. Rahim, sole proprietor, individual. So these are the different persons who have different denominators and different persons. Everybody is not called as individual. So that's all from this session. So we have covered concept of income. Then what are the principles of income? Then what do you mean by person? What are the different types of persons in this session? So hope you like this session. Thank you.